welcome. Today's program from ASID New York, Upstate Canada East. We're going to be going, I'm going to say it wrong now. Richelieu Hardware?
Richelieu.
Richelieu Hardware.
Richelieu.
I need my French fixed. So I'm going to introduce Peter Yip. Peter is our Professional Development Chair. He's also our past president and a recent recipient for 2 2023 DEA Design Excellence Awards. So Peter, would you like to introduce our guests today?
Yes, hi everyone, how are you? So may I introduce Aaron from Richelieu. I know Aaron almost, I think, 8 years, 5 years, or maybe about 6 years. So Aaron is the hardware specialist from Richelieu Hardware. Richelieu is a very big company, which including a lot of decorative, such as panels, hardwares, even I think lighting, all kind of beautiful products. So Aaron is the graduate from Fanshawe College, and also he's working over 20 years in the design industry. So welcome, Aaron. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Peter. I'm excited to be here and speaking for Richelieu. Thank you. So today I also have Maurizio from Richelieu here with me. I'm grateful that he's here. He is the product manager with Richelieu for sliding hardware. I call him my sliding guru, and he has a lot of gained a lot of experience over his years with multiple different companies and education, and has brought a lot of knowledge over to Richelieu, and as well as our specification team. He will be with us today. At the end of our presentation, he's going to have a little bit of product presentation for you, and we'll be able to answer any deep technical questions that you might have, whether it's on the product or if you have a project that you're working on that you need a little bit of guidance with. He's definitely the person to help you out with that. So without further ado, I think we're ready to get on with the CEU, correct?
Let's do it.
Okay, excellent. So I'm going to share my screen then, and I just need you to let me know that you can see the presentation in full screen, okay? So give me 1 second here. Share from beginning. Okay. Okay, so can you see the full sliding door system screen there?
Yes, you are all set.
Excellent. Okay. So here we go. Thank you for having me today. This CEU will help you identify common sliding hardware systems components, as well as how to select an appropriate system type to meet project requirements. You will understand how to incorporate glass in sliding systems for increased daylight penetration, and the most important is to understand the information required to properly specify a sliding system, including ADA requirements for sliding systems. My name is Erin Taylor-Jones, and as your specification coordinator and representative presenting today, I have the capability to be your #1 sliding resource. I have a team of sliding specialists that can help me provide you with your specific product or project sliding solutions or any technical questions that may arise. Today, as mentioned, I have Maurizio Frigo with me. This CEU is registered with the AIA and the IDCEC. Credits earned on completion of this course will be reported to AIA CEU for AIA members. Certificates of completion for both AIA members and non-AIA members are available upon request. Questions related to specific materials, methods, and services will be addressed at the conclusion of this presentation. This CEU is registered with the Interior Designer Continuing Education Council, IDCEC, for continuing education credits. This credit will be accepted by the American Society of Interior Designers, ASID, International Interior Designers Association, Interior Designers of Canada, IDC. So let's start. Sliding hardware for top hung door and wall systems with wood or glass panels. Why should we use sliding doors? Linear movements of doors and walls offer opportunities in economizing the use of space. This in turn can facilitate energy conservation as well as enhance lifestyle through environmental performance and aesthetics. At the end of this course, participants will be able to identify common sliding hardware system components, select appropriate system types to meet project requirements, understand how to incorporate glass in sliding systems for increased daylight application or penetration, and understand the information required to properly specify a sliding system, including ADA requirements for sliding systems. Section 1, answering the question, why use sliding doors? 2, components, sliding hardware components. 3, common sliding hardware system applications. And 4, specifying sliding hardware systems. It is important to understand the why when we are designing these spaces. In this chapter, we will learn why to use sliding doors and the benefits for your design spaces. Why use sliding doors to conserve space? Traditional hinge doors take up around 60 cubic feet, while a typical sliding door uses 5 cubic feet. This is a huge savings of space, allowing for many alternatives for fixtures and for furnishing placement. To improve access, sliding doors can allow full clear access for pass through, in and out of spaces. As per an ADA excerpt, the following codes apply. Section 404.2.9, door and gate opening force. Fire doors shall have a minimum opening force allowable by the appropriate administrative authority. The force for pushing or pulling open a door or gate other than fire doors shall be as follows. Both interior hinge doors and gates, as well as sliding or folding doors, have a 5-pound, 22.2 Newton maximum. Please note, these forces do not apply to the force required to retract latch bolts or disengage other devices that hold the door or gate in a closed position. There will always be some advisories. Please make sure that you check your local building codes when you're specifying for your specific projects. Sliding doors are used for their convenient operation. Within sliding, there are many configurations and overall styles, but the commonality is the convenient operation and ease of use when installed. Sliding doors are used to create wide openings. Creating a wide opening may require a synchronized opening system by where both doors open at the same time when only one is manually moved, or to move multiple panels which can slide independently. Please note that sliding systems are available with a wide variety of accessory add-ons as well. Sliding doors are used to improve aesthetics. Many options are available for designing your space. Glass, wood, aluminum frame, large door hardware, small door hardware, or even concealed doors that literally camouflage your door within the wall. Now we understand why to use sliding doors from the previous section: to conserve space, to improve access, for convenient operation, to create wide openings and improve aesthetics. We now need to understand sliding door system components. It is very important to understand that there are integral questions that need to be asked and answered for a specification of a sliding system to be suggested. Initial questions might include use of the system, referring to the application and budget. Overall dimension requirements, referring to application, weight, and support. Door material, referring to the overall system weight, and structural support or limitations, referring to ensuring the appropriate structure for the system and weight requirements are going to be in place when installed. So how do we move the door? All systems are comprised of components: running gear or trolleys, tracks or rails, floor or bottom guides, and bumpers, stoppers, and retainers. Typically, you have a track rail that runs the overall length, and you have a trolley running gear that runs across that track. You will also have bumpers and floor guides to assist the system. As mentioned in the prior slide, the trolley or running gear is used with the track. Suspension plates, hanging bolts, and brackets are typically parts in the system that connect the door or wall to the trolley. Panel weight, door material, and door operation often determine the type of running gear and suspension system. This is where the initial questions offer insight to the system or specification that would be suggested. Hold on, something's going on here. Okay, slide 22. Panel weight, system mounting, and door operation often determine the type of track or rail specified for a given application. The specification will determine bumpers, stoppers, retainers, and that are available. These parts allow different actions of the door. Each component has its own job. Bumpers allow to stop against a device installed on the floor, wall, or the ceiling. Track stops or stoppers are designed to be installed within the track and ensure the panel is closing within the hardware and not against the wall jamb. Retainers are designed to be installed in the track and perform the job of a track stop, as well as secure the door in an open or closed position. As mentioned, these parts are required to stop, hold the top and bottom of the door/panel simultaneously. So you can see it opening and closing. Look at this actual installation. On the top left of the image, you can see the track stop installed to provide an effective close of panel without striking the interior door jamb or wall. When we move to the top right image, you can see the track stop and or retainer to stop the door and hold it in the open position. When you look at the bottom right image, you can see the floor stop installed parallel to the track stop for improving stopping of a panel. And on the bottom left image, you will see the floor guide installed to effectively guide the panel through the opening and returning of the resting position. As a note, the floor guides help to stabilize and the floor stops help to reduce any racking, which is like this. Wall and bottom guides will be determined by the other specifications within the design space and sliding system. Floor guides are used when your door travels greater than the full width of the door, when you have a wide door opening greater than 5 feet, when you have heavy doors, and when you have tall doors. There are two types of guide channels as shown on the image at the right. The first is the recessed floor mount channel, which is milled into the bottom of the door and recessed into the floor. The second is the surface floor mounted channel, which is mounted to the bottom of the surface of the door and to the floor. All previously discussed will contribute to the stability of the door. Why do we specify a guide with any sliding system? Straight sliding hardware systems must use a guide for safe operation, and it avoids potential damage to the wall, trolley, suspension, and the hanger bolt. In this next section, I will introduce you to the common sliding hardware applications. Common terms within sliding hardware applications. Top hung, running gear, and the track are on the top of the door or the panel. You have a choice to mount either as a wall mount track or a ceiling mount track, as shown in each of these diagrams. In both cases, the structure must be adequate to support the weight of the system. Running gear, strap, or face-mounted running gear and wall-mounted track are visible sliding systems by which you see the mechanisms, also commonly known as a decorative barn door hardware. Bottom running means running gear and track are on the floor and weight is supported at the floor as well. You can choose between recessed or floor mounted, as seen in the images here. For pocket doors, the running gear and the track are located within the wall cavity. Hardware is specific for both wood and glass applications. Excuse me. Concealed hardware, the running gear, track are concealed within the panel. For further understanding, typically as discussed earlier, you have a track that runs the distance and a trolley that travels on that track. In concealed sliding hardware, it's the reverse. The track is reversed into the back of the door and the trolley is mounted to the wall. The trolley cantilevers over the track and the hardware is not seen but located on the back side of the door, as shown in this image here. The term straight sliding refers to the running gear and the track for one or more sliding panels. Here are the typical track mounting methods: ceiling or soffit with fascia, ceiling or soffit without fascia, in-ceiling flush mount, and wall mount without fascia. It is important to recognize how you wish to mount your hardware at the beginning of the project because you may need specific alterations made to the construction to allow for your system. For example, recessing into the ceiling or weight loads. Those are two big things to consider. The following are applications for sliding using glass hardware. Please notice the variety of applications available. And these are just some of them. Glass panel mounting options. Clamping hardware or glass patch fitting. Glass cutout is required for this one. Here are some additional application examples. You can see here in the images, we have biparting doors, telescopic multi-panel systems, and biparting and telescopic. Folding, stacking is another common term. These sliding systems are great design and application for retail spaces, office environments, and institution projects. It is important to know the difference between centerfold and endfold systems. Using a centerfold system does not require a floor-mounted track, whereas an endfold requires a floor track because of the natural gravity. Weight will always be an important factor when spanning large openings, stacking panels into a parking area. Be sure to consult with a qualified engineer to understand what structure is required to carry the load, the entire system, and the acting moving doors. This should be determined in the preliminary design stages. Here are some wood panel examples. Different finishes can be applied to the different systems depending on weight and size of panel to be hung. Here are some glass panel examples. As you can see, a multitude of different looks and applications can be achieved. I would like to point out that you can create curves or even go around bends easily. So by this point, you're probably asking, Okay, so how do I specify these hardware systems? Here in section 4, this is what we're going to discuss. As mentioned earlier in this presentation, specifying sliding hardware systems requires answers to several key questions. Here are the top 10. It is important to provide project name location in order to provide the most effective local support and in-stock options. It is important to provide if your project is commercial or residential space, because this will help the sliding specialist understand the required aesthetics, frequency of use, and robust qualities of the various systems. This will highly influence the product selection and the budget for these. It is important to provide the application, meaning the type of space, the use of the product, and the type of movement you're looking for your opening. There are several sliding products that can be considered, and selecting the best selection for the project is key to a satisfied client. It is important to provide materials that are being used for your door. Sliding systems are usually specified for use with wood or glass or even metal frames. Materials also contribute to the weight specifications, which is crucial for product selection. It is important to provide the dimensions of the application. Most systems have height, width, and weight specifications and/or restrictions. Understanding the size and type of the opening will help qualify the best system for your application. It is important to provide the quantity of systems for your project, as this will affect logistics as well as budgetary considerations. It is important to provide proposed or authorized budgets for any application. There are several sliding products that can be considered and used. Selecting the best solution for the project while considering the overall budget is key, again, to a satisfied client. Project drawings, a plan view, and any supplemental drawing will ensure that all factors of the project are being considered prior to making a final product specification. Project timing, product availability, and/or product lead times may influence decisions on a product specification relevant to the required dates of product installation. It is important to provide optional and complementary products. Some manufacturers offer interesting options, for examples, soft closing of systems, specialized handles, lockings of systems. Products and features such as these need to be considered within the scope of the specification and highly influence areas of budget, logistics, timing, and add to the written specification of the required products for your project. All of these questions will help the specifier and hardware specialist to generate and select the correct system to meet your specific design. So, why specify sliding door hardware for my project? Well, sliding doors can serve valuable space while providing effective entry function and aesthetic to your project. Sliding door hardware is designed to work with a variety of materials, including wood, glass, metal frames, and there are endless design possibilities when considering materials and applications. Sliding door hardware can transform any space and create added use and multiple zones within a larger space. Local and expert resources are available for consultation when selecting a sliding door solution for your proposed project. Please feel free to ask any specific questions pertaining to the CEU at this time.
Okay.
So this concludes our sliding door CEU portion. At this time, I would like to introduce again my colleague, Richelieu. He is going to be discussing some sliding options available with Richelieu hardware. And I'll hand it over to you guys.
Thank you, Erin. Good afternoon, everyone. Nice to be here in front of you. I'll just share my screen. Yeah, I'm so excited to present to you today some interesting products addressing some very common and some new challenges now in design and in spaces. In particular, pocket doors, that's the first one I'll lead to. Also glass rooms. So pocket doors are being used more and more often now. We're seeing a big demand for that, but also new challenges. So the way we used to do pocket doors has changed. Also how we construct rooms, different types of construction requires different types of pocket doors. So up until now, we didn't have too many options other than what you probably are familiar with, but I'm going to show you 3 very exciting ones. Glass rooms, very important, especially in a multi-residential or an office environment in a high-rise. Sometimes in order to get occupancy or for the health and well-being of those living and working in the environment, natural light is always a challenge. You want to have enough natural light to create a very positive space. So we'll show you one example of a very simple, easy system that we use. And then we'll give you a little hint of a new direction that we're going in, in barn door solutions as well. So first we'll start off with the pocket door. So 3 different systems. We have cavity slider, which is your typical pocket door construction, where you have a frame door and hardware for a sliding wood door. Then we have the PS66. This is very interesting with beam move. We're hearing more and more requirements for motorized systems. So this addresses a couple of things. One, it's electric motor, very easy, simple to install. It's more or less plug and play, runs off a very similar power supply like your laptop. The PS66 is a pocket door system where it can be installed in a cubicle. You don't need your traditional wall construction like you can see in this image here. We'll get into that as well. As you can see, there's no visible tracks. The door floats. Then we have the Porta HMT. That takes the same concept as the cavity slider pocket door, except it's enhanced with other features. This is key also for applications where you don't necessarily need the frame for the pocket, but you do have some kind of alcove that the door needs to travel into. So it's a system that can be installed for that, but it also has some features like soft close and a built-in touch latch type system that we call push to open. First, we look at the cavity sliders. Durable system, full aluminum frame structure that is self-supporting. It's suitable for metal and wood frame construction. Soft close is available, either one side opening or both sides, depending on the application. And I'm also going to run a little video, which kind of explains a little bit more of what we do. So as you can see here, it takes the frame and the construction of the pocket door to another level. A double wall aluminum construction. You have little features like these bottom plates, where it's more or less like a nailing strip for your baseboard. So one of the challenges with pocket doors is always these empty cavities. So when the trim carpenter is installing baseboards or any trim, they don't have something to nail to very well. So this provides you that. Also, we have very robust corner brackets. This helps automatically square up your frame. So it's pretty much, if your cut's not 100%, it will help you out. It will help square it all up for you, making for a quick install. But best, I run you this video. This video will explain much better. So I'm just going to make sure the sound is good. Yeah.
The cavity slider pocket frame should be the builder's first choice when it comes to pocket doors. Their innovative design, focused on long-run, reliable performance, overcomes the issues traditionally experienced with pocket doors. Can you hear that? First, its robust aluminum structure ensures it's not going to bow or flex like traditional wooden alternatives. The frame is easy to assemble and install, and it can be cut down to size on site if necessary. The rollers are engineered with precision ground bearings to ensure these doors are going to roll extremely smoothly. The system has a weight capacity of 500 pounds and is tested through 1,000,000 cycles. It can accommodate an 1 3/8 or an 1 3/4 thick door and is suitable for both residential and commercial projects. If necessary, the door can be serviced with ease. The revolutionary snap-in trim clips and quick-release mount plates allow for the door's removal from the opening. This, coupled with the access notch for the rollers, ensures pocket door headaches are a thing of the past. Finally, you've got the option to add the soft close or soft open feature for additional quietness and safety. For peace of mind on your next pocket door system, specify the CS cavity slider.
Thank you. So it takes pocket doors into a whole other level, something you may, it addresses a lot of structural challenges, applications. What's nice about it too, it can also be joined if you have a biparting application as well. And we offer a wide variety of sizes, right down to your 30-inch wide door up to 48 inches wide as a standard. We also now inventory for doors up to 8 feet tall, and we just developed new frames that'll be available for 9-foot and 10-foot tall doors as well. The next system, the Hava Porta HMT. So as you look at this image here on the right, very low profile. You're basically recessing a track, very simple to install. It's suitable for traditional and your non-traditional construction. So we've seen some applications for example, if there's a concrete or a concrete block wall construction, you're not dealing with your typical drywall or metal frame construction. So this can be inserted, the track can be removed. But what's unique as well is that you have a soft close mechanism for both sides in the pocket and when you're closing the door. And then there's also a touch latch operation as well. So built into the mechanism, you can retract the door completely into the pocket without adding any hardware. And by a gentle push, the door will pop out roughly about 4 inches, enough for you to grab the door and then slide it. I'll show you a short video. As you look here, so we'll see just a short video of how it's operated. You walk through the door, give a little push, pops out 3 to 4 inches. Very simple to pull the door and soft close. As you look here, she's going to use very little effort to open the door to overcome the soft close. So this too is right on the ADA compliancy as well. So a very low pull force, and it's suitable for all kinds of different applications. But one of the other features is the installation. So I'll show you a short video here of how it's installed. It's quite unique. So just give it a moment for the gentleman to arrive. As you use simple tools, you have your measuring, you have your cleaning tool as well for the track. What's unique about this as well is that you can install, close up your wall, do all your drywalling, your painting, your mudding, you're complete, and then come in later and install the track. So that's one of the advantages as well. So at this step here, you draw a center line of where you're going to locate the track. That's what the gentleman's doing. And then the next step is the track. So at this stage, the track has 2 functions. So he's drilling 1 hole to stabilize the track. The track starts off as your template. You install a series of clips, they're preset holes in the track. And your track is now a jig and a template. And you'll see what I mean. So he comes into the opening, installs this track. That 1 screw secures the track in place. And then he's screwing through pre-drilled holes for those clips. At this point, I'll just stop the video. So what he's done here now is that as he's drilled into the into the ceiling all the clips. Clips are now exactly where they need to be, but you can remove your track at this point. So you do this early in the construction, in the framing stage. After that, as you close your pocket area, and everyone has done their job in the space, mudding, cleaning, you clean off your track as always. You load all your hardware into the track on your bench before installing in the right position. Okay, very simple calculations to put in place. All your stoppers, actuators, trolleys. Once you have them in secure, okay, so he's done both sides. That's the actuator for the soft close. Then you come in and you insert your track. You insert your track, you come in, and the track will hook onto those clips that you've mounted. As you can see, the track's cut a little bit shorter. Now it's in place. It's holding the track and can support weight. Then you put one screw to secure it so it doesn't shift, and your job's done. You've installed the track. You now enter the space, you install your door. So you insert it. So as you can see here on the, I'll just stop the video. If you look at the hardware is resets into the top of the door. There's a little rebate and a U channel. And now you've rotated the door, pivots, and you pivot it into the pocket. Okay, so you see the door is held by one trolley on one end. Now he's come back, hooked on to the next trolley, onto the other side of the door. And it simply just clips into place. There's no tools necessary. And everything works. Gives a little push to see if it works. Yes, pops out, closes the opening, soft close engages on the other side, and you're done. Very simple. The door can still be adjusted by height if you need to. Very simple. If you need to relocate any hardware, you can do that as well. But typically, you follow the instructions with all the proper setbacks in the track before. You shouldn't have to do too much adjustment at the end. Now the PS66, this is unique. So this is in construction. So where this has evolved from is we're seeing more and more in applications where someone would purchase, for example, a condo in a high rise. And typically they're buying a shell. There's no walls constructed. So we're seeing more and more trend into cladding walls with panel boards to finish off a room and also create doorways. In this case, you know, there's no wall studs being used. There's no drywall, just panel board. That keeps your mess in the condo. It doesn't disturb other units. It's also simpler and easier to deliver materials in an elevator versus having to get a lift or any special accommodations. So the way this works, this is designed to work with that type of construction when you're dealing with just panel boards for space. Also, you can create a cubicle. As you can see here in this image here, this is a kitchen. They've created a walk-in pantry, but no ceiling. It's an open ceiling. So as part of the millwork, you have your pocket door to close off the space. To the right, you can also see an example for glass. We'll show this later on, this picture. This is a condo where the person had open planning to their walk-in closet, but then later decided to close it off. I'm going to show you how that can be simply done. We also have the accessory, the B-Move electric motor. It's a plug-and-play standard motorized system that's used for a few different types of sliding door options. In this case, it would be for pocket doors. And we'll look into that a little bit. But as you can see here, the system, very simple. There's a structure with a mechanism that retracts back and forth. There's a vertical profile here in the middle. That's what you would connect your door to. So very simple. So your construction is you have a pre-structured frame. You mount your decorative panel, a 3/4 inch panel board, MDF or particle board to one side. You secure the panel to your wall and your floor in this example. You don't have to do anything in the ceiling. You mount your door. Step 3, you get your other 3/4 inch panel, for example, MDF or particle board, clad the other side of the pocket, and now your job is done. Again, very simple construction, everything is pre-done. And if we look very closely, this device here looks like a long rod. That is the motor. So it tucks away nice and neatly inside. There's no special, too much of a special space you have to require for it. Very compact. And the way this operates is that this simply just plugs into an outlet. Okay. Now the motor, it can be operated in 3 basic ways. One, standard remote. There's a small little remote that you can have. Or if you don't wish to use a remote, you can also add on what's called a wave sensor. This is a little sensor device that you can locate 30 feet from, within 30 feet from the door. It can be located underneath the countertop, in millwork, on the wall. It will read through material up to 3/8 of an inch thick. So basically, you simply just wave your hand in front of it, and it will operate your door. The other option is you can also connect it to your smart home, also an app on your phone, or voice control. So anyone who would have Alexa, Echo, or any product like that, you simply can just talk and say, open pantry, and your door will open. So very simple to install. Show you a short video. This video here will explain, will show the manual version, this first example. You can see all the systems have dampers. And the next one, this is the wave sensor. She ran her hand in front of this little sensor, and the door has now closed. She comes back, operates the manual version, and the next one, the wave sensor. So there's 2 versions that you can have. One thing I do want to point out, if you look at this example, this isn't an exhibit. The pocket structure is supported by a cabinet on the other side, no support on the top, no support in the floor other than just resting on top of the floor. And then it's anchored to the rest of the wall partition. So as you can see, you can use this in a sort of cubicle. So if you have a cubicle space that's maybe high walls, this can be incorporated in that type of setting. And this is the example of the condo apartment. I believe this is either in New York or in Toronto. Done a couple of projects already. So first example, the image on the left, this is open space planning to a nice, beautiful walk-in closet. But the homeowners were a little bit tired of that look and wanted a little more privacy. So by creating, they ordered 2 pocket PS systems on each side, clad it with just panels. So the system is anchored to the floor, to the back wall. I believe they did anchor it to the ceiling, but it wasn't necessary. They did it. And now you've got, very little construction, no dust. You now have 2 pocket doors. Before I move on to the next, any questions at this point?
Mauricio,
Yes.
I had a question. The door,
Yes.
which one would you recommend for a handicapped individual or a person that's aging in place?
I would try the PS66 with the B-Move motor. One, it can be activated in several different ways, so it can be contactless. So you can just wave. It can be your hand or any part or any device, any element. You wave it in front of the sensor and the door will open. Also, it'd be a very simple one to retrofit as well. It avoids any needs to having to pull something and overcome, a soft close or any other device. I would start there and then look at it. Choice number 2, I would maybe look at the Hava Porta HMT because it is ADA compliant. So if the individual who's operating the door does have a limb to operate it, it's easy to operate. But I would start off with the PS66 at the beginning.
Thank you. Does anyone else have questions before we proceed? Feel free to unmute yourself. It looks like I was the only one that couldn't understand.
It looks like I was the
Oh,
only one that couldn't
thank you.
understand.
So let's go forward.
Okay.
So let's go forward.
The next one is glass rooms, solo vetro or vetro fisso. So this is a modular system for glass partitions. No drilling is required for the glass. No adhesive is necessary. It also has a soft close mechanism for door panels up to 176 pounds that are considered ADA or barrier-free compliant. The pull force is maximum 2.1 kilos, very, very low pull force to overcome the soft close. What's nice about the system as well is it can be used for a bedroom, home office, meeting rooms, hotel reception, security desk, transaction counters. So it can be used for tall doors. It can be used for smaller, shorter doors. We're seeing more and more, especially with COVID, the need to have some kind of barrier between the person behind a reception counter and a customer. So this allows you to retrofit existing applications for very little construction. The way it works is the track is installed in the ceiling. Then you have some profiles on the floor for the fixed panel. So the sliding panel is supported above. Okay, and it slides back and forth, and all the hardware and clamping shoes are concealed. And the fixed panel is supported by the U channel on the floor, but fits inside the extrusion in the ceiling. So it allows for very quick install. In residence, it's very important, especially we're seeing more and more in high rise the challenge of having enough windows to allow natural light into the bedroom. So typically those spaces, there's one bedroom, one window, and that's where you locate your living room and your kitchen area. And then the bedroom is in a dark space. There's no window. It's further back. So these are long, narrow spaces. So what we do is in this example, for example, this is a home office, but that can be a spare room. So if there's no window here, and there's a window at the end of the room, you can create a glass room, whether it's frosted or clear, and that'll allow the natural light to travel through, and you have your space. This will help you get occupancy for that condo or apartment. The other components, you can create fixed partitions, walls, very simply. All the pieces are aluminum. They fit together almost like a Lego or building block type configuration. You can create a straight wall, L-shaped wall, T-shaped wall, very simple. The profiles are very small, as you can see in this example. This is an office space. You see the profile on the floor and the ceiling and the sliding hardware, but all the vertical edges, these little dividers, are actually aluminum extrusions, very small, tiny, and they tend to disappear. So you can create this sort of frameless open space, but still have privacy from space to space. What's nice about this too is that, say the environment or the needs in your environment changes and you need to add an office or delete or create in an existing environment another meeting room. So these components can be easily reconfigured without having to add additional construction to the space. Okay, a little snapshot just comparing the two and the profiles and how they operate. We have these little end caps and blocks, building blocks that help connect all the components together so you can create your different configurations. Next step, any questions by that? Anyway, regarding the glass sliding solutions. If not, we have the new barn door, the new direction. You see a nice slick new design, available in 4 different finishes from inventory. We have a chrome finish, champagne, black, and titanium, all modern colors. We also have matching door pulls. This is very flexible, very simple to install. And I'll play a video shortly. It includes soft close mechanism. So the soft close is concealed in the track. so it gives a nice clean look. The soft close can be located anywhere within the track, so you can control where you want to stop and start the door, which is very important. Your minimum door width for soft close in both directions is 27.5 inches. It's probably the smallest in the market for that type of application. But with what we're offering in one kit, you can decide what materials you can apply it to. So you don't have to order different types of hardware. So in one kit, when you open up the box, you'll have fasteners for a 3/4 inch panel. You will have fasteners for up to 1 3/8 inch wood door, or you'll have fasteners up to, for glass up to 3/8 thick. In 2023, there is a development in the project. We will be able to accommodate 1 3/4 inch thick wood doors, as well as 1/2 inch thick doors. But currently right now, these are our sizes. Also the mounts, the brackets that support the track to the wall, they can also shift. They're adjustable as well. So you can locate your brackets to wherever you need, where you have the best support in the wall. So that also helps for installation. And then there's a matching door pull as well, called Slim. Okay, I'll just play you a short video. Nice clean design, very quiet, smooth running. Like I said, concealed soft close with also a hidden actuator, which is also your anti-derail device. It's secure. 4 different finishes and fasteners for various types of material, from wood to glass panel, all in one kit. Very slick design, simple to operate, and enhances any space that you have. Thank you. Oops. Thank you. That's the end of my presentation. Any questions?
Is anyone out there have a question where they'd like to unmute themselves or put one in the chat?
Unmute themselves or put one in the chat.
Yeah, we are also available for any questions afterwards as well. You contact Erin Jones. She can answer you directly, and also she can redirect questions to me as well, and we can help you.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Is there
Terry, it's Lois here.
Is there Terry? It's Lois here.
Hello?
Hello, we have a little bit of an echo on my end. I don't know what that's about. But thank you so much for the presentation.
Thank you so much for the presentation. I just
barn door for a project about a month ago.
Oh, wonderful.
I was looking through your online catalogs and figuring things out, but this is so great to have it demonstrated.
Great to have it demonstrated.
Well, thank you.
I particularly like the glass.
Partition area.
Oh yes, yeah.
That can be really useful.
That can be really useful.
Yeah, we're seeing glass used more and more. We've been asked for it a lot. There isn't too many innovative designs out there, so we're very excited with the EVO system.
I love that they're coming from Italy or wherever, you're really representing the world.
You're really representing the world to us here.
Yes, all the products that we showed today. The barn door system is manufactured in Brazil. Also, everything I'm showing you is inventory. It is also from reliable sources. All the factories, there's a challenge right now worldwide with raw materials, interruption with production and carriers. With all these suppliers, they're very well, we have secured a lot of inventory. They're reliable sources as well. They're not affected a lot by what's happening in the world right now. This one comes from Brazil. The production is not interrupted. Carriers, freight companies, that's still the challenge. They're still very busy in the ports, and that's really the hiccup. That's the only one. But we order large volumes of inventory to make sure we can support what we need to.
Yes, you even transferred from one warehouse to another.
Yes, you even transferred from one warehouse to another to make it.
Yes, yeah, whatever we can do, get the
Customer
project done.
service is amazing. Yeah, thank you.
Customer service is
Thank you.
amazing. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the important things to know.
That's one of the important things to know.
I'm getting feedback too. Sorry.
I'm getting feedback
Basically,
too.
I
Sorry.
think important that your
Basically,
spec
I
know
think
when your project is falling,
know your project falling.
so we can get
So,
that.
I have
we
one
can get
question.
that.
Yes.
I have one question. How's the acoustical insulation for the sliding door system?
We have different projects. So, for example, with the glass, we have various seals that control the sound. Obviously, it's not soundproof, but it does reduce. There's seals that can be applied. They're very simple to apply that close the gap between the two panels. And with the glass being part of the track, inserted in the track, also reduces a lot of the sound transfer. But I do want to point out, if I scroll back, this sliding system, excuse me if I don't want to make anyone dizzy, but the Porta HMT coming this September and September, October, we will have an acoustical version of it for a pocket door system. So meaning it meets standards, I think is, what's it called? 30, I think you're gonna reach 30 or 35 CSD, I believe it's called. We reached that mark. So it will muffle a lot of the sound. It meets building codes requirements for office spaces. So you don't have the transfer of sound. And the way it operates, it has a two retractable seals. So when you close your opening, a seal will drop to the floor, close that off, and also seal will lift to the track above, and it closes off the space. So yeah, so you don't have any sound transfers at all. We have data now, so if you need that, we can
thank you. So one more question about the barrier building code. So how should it work out? For sliding door system.
So what we find out is the biggest challenge is soft close is very, very popular. So in the past, in most soft close, it's very difficult. This sometimes requires a lot of pull force to overcome the soft close. So the way these are designed is that they're re-engineered so that the pull force, as long as it's 5 pounds or less, it meets building codes. So these achieve that. They're well under the 5 pound in that weight rating. So it's and then some like the PS66 that you can motorize, then there's no need. The fact that sliding door, it's also viewed as more of a easier, more accessible than a swing door for someone who maybe has limited mobility. Slide door takes very little. We see more and more, especially in long-term care facilities, institutions, calling for that kind of a spec instead of over a slide door, because the occupants, they need to be able to open the door on their own. So,
Thank you.
Our local senior center has just replaced all the doors.
Yes. Good. Yeah, we're seeing more and more. It seems like every time we see a drawing or some kind of renovation or new construction for a long-term care facility, sliding doors is the is the one key feature that we must provide. Yeah.
Well, with a walker, you know,
you've
got something to get out of your way and get the door
You've got
open.
something to get out of your way and get the door
Yeah.
open.
Between the
And
front
also,
door and
in
their
case-
washroom door,
between
it's
the front door and their washroom door, it's
Yeah, you don't have to step back. That's correct. Yeah.
or-
We're also
walk your- I mean, it's one thing for us to step back, and it's something
one
else
thing for us
someone
to
who
step
has
back, and it's something else for someone who has
equipment to take with them.
equipment
Yes.
to take with them.
We're also finding that in case there's an emergency in the room, it's much easier to gain access to a sliding door versus a swing door without, damaging the walls and the construction. It's a much easier, because on a swing door, sometimes the person who's had the accident may have fallen against the door, and if you're trying to do a swing door and you need to push it in, you're dealing with someone on the other end. With a slide door, you don't have that concern. You're not going to have that it won't obstruct you from being able to get in there to help them. Yes. Yeah, I experienced that already by myself. So had to act on an emergency for an elderly person, and they were up against the door, a swing door, and we could not access it very easily. So we literally basically had to break through the wall to get to them, and that wasn't pleasant. So yeah, they're very traumatized by the accident. They don't need something else. So
Don't need someone coming through the wall.
yes,
Coming through the wall.
you do what you have to do.
Yeah. Anything for the elderly.
Yes.
Anything for the elderly.
Well, I apologize for this weird echo. I have no idea why that started.
I have no idea why that started.
But I want to thank our speakers for the day. And thank everyone for coming with us. Does anyone have any last minute questions, concerns that they would like? We will be posting this video on our YouTube channel next week. We're just going to edit it down, although I don't think I'll be able to get rid of the echo. Erin will be filing for CEUs for all those that attended. And thank you both so much. That was extremely educational. And I've got my clues all written down for the door I'm putting in at my mother's house. That was the pocket door I asked about for aging in place.
Thank you so much for having us. It's a pleasure. And keep in mind, Richelieu is throughout Canada and the US. And we have about 40 spec reps here to help all of you in the different locations that you may be from. It was my pleasure. We would love to do this again on other topics. So thank you for having us. Have a great summer to everybody out there, and keep smiling. We're at a good spot with this. So here we go.
Thank you, Erin. Thank you, Mauricio.
Everybody cheer.
Yeah. Thank you.
Great.